Waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch review. And that's right, it is time. I kind of gave spoilers about this in my last review of the Enterprise F, and I also posted in the community section. I'm starting to do that now. We're going to start a little segment, kind of a side story, if you will. We are going to be doing the Wolf 359 Federation ships. Now, we've already done one. We already did the U.S.S. Melbourne, and that was kind of a standalone, in my opinion, just because you barely saw it, and plus it's one of the more rare models, so I kind of felt like, this should be one of the first ones I do. So these models were really by no means crazy rare, I mean, except for potentially now, but Eaglemoss did take these ships, and if you don't think you've ever seen these ships, you are probably right, because most of them you only see once. In fact, this is the only one that I think you hear about more than once, because the ship technically did survive the battle. All these ships were featured in the Best of Both Worlds Part 2, where the Enterprise finds itself at Wolf 359 after the fleet has been destroyed, because Picard knew everything, shield frequencies, all that. So the Federation fleet just got wiped out in its entirety, and so most of these ships you only ever see them in a battle damaged, dilapidated state. So that being said, we're going to get right to it. Today we are starting off with the Cheyenne class U.S.S. Ahwahnee, and like I said, and I might be pronouncing that wrong, I do apologize again. So yeah, Ahwahnee, I'm going to assume that's how it's pronounced. And that being said, this is a Cheyenne class starship. Believe it or not, this ship was not destroyed at the Battle of Wolf 359. No, it was only heavily damaged. In fact, I believe it's in Unification Part 2 or Part 1, where the Federation has the blockade. You do see the Ahwahnee as one of the ships in the Federation blockade. So just something to be mindful of. Kind of a little fun fact, the ship was not destroyed at Wolf 359. It did survive. So that being said, let's get right into it. And of course, getting into it means that we take a look at the magazine first. By the way, if you know, so I'm not even going to say we're not even doing the boxes. The boxes are all the same with these. So, class Cheyenne, launch 24th century, length 362 meters, max speed, warp 9.6, and there's a nice underside shot of the Ahwahnee. Of course, it's symmetrical to the top of bottom for the most part. I mean, a little different details, got the sensor pod and whatnot, but mostly symmetrical ship. So, of course, and yeah. So, fun fact, I believe all of these ships were Enterprise model kits, like Star Trek model kits, so they just started making ships to have the destroyed fleet at Wolf 359. Cheyenne class, the Battle of Wolf 359 fleet listing, visual effects on screen, and then of course our instructions how to put in the stand, and then of course there it is, a nice frontal orthographic view. Light cruiser U.S.S. Ahwahnee, NCC 71620, 24th century, 362 meters, 320 crew, and warp 9.6. Phaser emitters, photon torpedoes. And there's a nice huge shot of the Cheyenne class. And again, it's a Starfleet vessel and one of the ships that fought at Wolf 359. So there it is. And there we have a nice listing of all the ships or most of the ships that were there. And then, of course, some nice orthographic keys to the ship. Again, the cool part about this ship was only seen for a handful of seconds on screen and not in a state. And there we have, of course, the Deep Space Nine. I believe that's the U.S.S. Yamaguchi, and I forget the name of the Nebula class. That is not the Melbourne, though. And then, of course, the fleet listing. There's all the damaged ships at Wolf 359. There's the Kyushu, the Melbourne. Of course, that's the Excelsior class version. And then, of course, there's the Ahwahnee. There's the Melbourne we reviewed. There's the Yamaguchi. And then, of course, the U.S.S. Bellerophon. And then the Gauge. And then the Bonstel, and then the Firebrand, and there it is, it's damaged. Again, all these ships were just seen in a damaged state. There we have the Princeton, the Niagara class, the Baran, the Challenger class, and then the Saratoga Cisco ship. We will get to that. And then, of course, the U.S.S. Liberator, which is a shuttle, of course. Okay. And visual effects crew, of course, there we have a nice shot of the entire team, and then, of course, Gene right there. front and center. It looks really, really good. And then, of course, a few extra shots from TNG. And then we have another shot of the aftermath of the battle. And then, of course, we have a nice orthographic top view of the Cheyenne on top. So there we go. And as for the stand, this is one of the stands that I glued. It was apparently too wobbly for my taste. And anyway, but either way, see, this says 4 nacelles is just going to fit right up around the center here. And there we go. And the ship holds nice and firm. I've never had any issues with the ship falling out. Just the stand at one point being too wobbly, excuse me. So there you go. And let's have a nice look at the Cheyenne class. And this is one of my favorite ships. And you can see, just real quick, some of the liberties that they took. So again, a lot of these were model kits. These models were not as big as the filming model for the Enterprise D. I believe these were markers. These, and in fact, the Kyushu uses markers for its weapon pods as well. So I believe these were highlighters. Forgive me. So yeah, not a crazy amount of detail. You have to kind of look. You can see the Aztecing deep in there again. And for it not being a lot of detail, here's the thing. These ships were seen on screen. I don't think there's any computer models of these ships. So these were all seen on screen for a handful of seconds. So again, the lack of detail in the model kind of asserts to the detail that we saw on screen, which actually this is pretty good considering how little we see the ship. So again, got the U.S.S. Ahwahnee, the registration numbers a lot bigger than usual. Looks really, really nice. Again, you can see the Aztecing in there. The bridge area, all extruded. The escape pods, all extruded. Quite a lot of escape pods on this ship. I guess they knew it was going up against the Warg. And then, of course, you got some window detailing right here. It looks really, really good. They range from big to small. And again, nothing really offset. They all fit within the indents. It's not separated indents. So, yeah, I mean, really, really good. And you got some indents here for some window sections. Looks really, really nice. Got your impulse thrusters on back right there. And I think this might be a potential impulse drive too. Might be 2 different shuttle bays as well. Not entirely sure. It's probably in the magazine that I don't look at. And then, of course, let's take a look at the nacelles. It looks like transclearant. Look at that. So even for this model with so little details, they did a nice, like, it's a transclearant plastic sandwich, if you will. Again, nacelle details look really nice. They're all symmetrical. There we go. The NCC 73620. There it is on the front, 7620. And you got these coils up here. They're nice, ribbed and painted in a nice gold. Looks really, really good. U.S.S. Ahwahnee, very nice text, shows up just fine. And they look at that transclearant plastic for the Bassard collector. Really nice. And of course, you got a little bit of extruded detail going down the side of the pylons. They're straight pylons. In fact, no nacelle misalignments here. Look really, really good. And then, of course, again, you got some shape, this nice molded, it's basically 2 Galaxy class necks married together. And then you got the Federation Delta going down and a nice line going down. If we look at the bottom of the ship, again, more window detailing. Got like the 10-4 detailing right here that just painted in. Again, you got the NCC 73620 along the bottom. And then, of course, the sensor pod down here. Then, of course, more window detailing. Looks really good. Really, really sharp. And again, symmetrical nacelle pylons, just absolutely super. I got a little bit of it looks like a little bit of a gold mix match, but this is the bottom of the ship, so I don't care too much. Got some red detailing down here too. Looks really, really good. Again, just little additions to the ship, and then of course some more detailing back here. Again, really, really nice. And look, even in here, even in the crevice, you can see window detailing. How cool would it have been to like kind of be in this section and just kind of look back, see 4 nacelles staring you in the face, getting able to watch the shuttles enter in and out. Probably the coolest experience. So I can imagine this. If I were a Federation captain, this would be one of the ships that I would like to have if I could not have a ship like the Nebula class Melbourne. So again, really, really good model, especially considering how little we've seen it. Has a certain amount of weight to it. I would assume there's a bit of die cast in the saucer section. I can feel a weight in the center, just down the outside. So I assume it's like kind of sandwiched in there. So yeah, there you go for that. And for a quick comparison, there it is next to, we're going to bring in all the Wolf 359 chips, but there it is next to the standard Enterprise D. Now again, Eaglemoss doesn't design their ships to scale. Now I will say this, I'm not going to break out the Enterprise D XL. I will break it out at one point. This ship probably does scale a lot better with the Enterprise D XL. This ship is about 300 meters. The Enterprise D is 642, so roughly about half the length. So I would assume the ship scales a lot better with the XL Enterprise D. So just kind of FYI, at least on the length front. Not sure about the height, but yeah, just kind of a tidbit there for you. If you guys like, I can take a picture and put it in the community section. But there they are from the side. You can just kind of see the influence. And the cool part is, I like how they use the model kits, because you can see, you know, how these two ships, like they look like they come from the same era, the golden age of the Federation. So again, there you go for a I'm showing the Enterprise upside down, but this is the same ship basically upside down. Hold on, let me get one last inside here, and there we go, so you can see from the front as well. So yeah, and there we go. So let's summarize, and there we have it for the Cheyenne class U.S.S. Ahwahnee. And yeah, you know, again, if you are a fan like I am, I mean, the thing about me, I'm a fan of the obscure ships. This is why I like Lower Decks so much, is because I like when we focus on just another ship, you know, not the Enterprise, not Voyager, just another Federation ship doing its Federation thing, you know, exploring the galaxy, helping people out, all that good stuff. So it's just, I personally think it's really cool when we see, you know, just the fleet, like, you know, another ship in the fleet. That's what the U.S.S. Ahwahnee is. It's just another ship in the fleet. And again, I just think it's cool that, you know, quite a few nice, it can be a very plain model, yes, but there's quite a few nice styling cues. The gold paint on the cells, the ribbing, some of the extrusion areas. It's a lot of detail for a ship that is not seen very much on screen. And I do like it very much. And if you like it, I do highly recommend this model. It is very much worth it. Wouldn't overpay for it though. I mean, it's not a very, and I wouldn't overpay for many of the Wolf 359 fleet. They just aren't very much substance to the model, but it is cool to kind of have something that, hey, you know, this is on screen for this much, and kind of show off your nerdiness to all your Star Trek friends. So yeah, so there you go. Now that being said, I do not know if this is on real merch. I haven't seen it, I don't think, but you can check it out. I'll put a link to real merch down in the description below. Hopefully I'll be able to order some ships. They were having a sale last I checked, so check that out. Get yourself some ships, kickstart your collection if you want to get started. And that being said, that will conclude this review. So if you enjoyed this review, leave a like down below and consider subscribing to the channel. This is the first of a series of videos I'm going to do on the Wolf 359 ships, so stay tuned for that, and definitely subscribe because you want to stick around for those. And that being said, I am FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Live long and prosper.